she took care of us all by herself because my dad didn't want to be involved in taking care of us because we weren't what he wanted. We were girls, he wanted boys. Hey guys, welcome back to another YouTube video. How are you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing good. If you're new on here, my name is Tonia. I'm a travel and a lifestyle blogger based in Italy, and I also share my experience on what it's like living abroad and also being a military spouse. So you guys, in today's video, I wanted to share a story that I have never shared. Not a lot of people in my life know this story, and I just feel like with all of the things going on in the world right now, this is the time to actually speak about something like this. God has given me this platform to speak about things like this, and that's why I want to share my story, because I feel like nobody should be treated a different way simply because of the way they look, because of their gender, because of their race, their tribe, or the religion they belong to, and all of those kind of things. And that's why today I feel like this story that I want to share will make a difference, or will just do something. You know, it's kind of a normal thing in an African home for men to want male children, especially wanting male children first before female children. My mom had 3 girls consecutively, and because of this, my dad was so abusive to her. He wanted a boy and all of that. For this reason, he treated us, the kids, with so much, I wouldn't say hatred, because hate is a very strong word. I would say that he didn't love us enough. So my dad was never involved in anything whatsoever in my life. Like, I can tell you that the only memory that I have of my dad is him beating me naked and sending me out of the house while I was so very young. And the reason for this was because after my mom finally had a boy, my dad treated us differently. Okay, he treated my brother way differently than he treated us, the girls. So what happened on that day was, my brother messed up my uniform that I was going to wear to school the next day. This was when I was in like preschool, right? And so for that reason, I scolded him or like punished him or something, and my dad flogged the living daylight out of me and sent me out of the house naked. Okay, this was for scolding my brother for ruining my uniform that I needed to wear to school the next day. I want to say that I went through the whole of my life without my dad being involved in any way. Just in case you're wondering, my dad is still very much married to my mom. They still live in the same house and have always been. But my dad was just never involved in our life. My mom was literally like a single mom. She took care of us all by herself because my dad didn't want to be involved in taking care of us because we weren't what he wanted. We were girls, he wanted boys. At a very age as early as 6 years old, I knew things like this. I saw that the energy around was not pleasing to me. Whenever my grandma would come home for Christmas, I would cry that I want to go with her because this environment wasn't conducive for me. I didn't feel loved and I just wanted to go. So as at 6 years old, my grandma took me to go stay with her, and that's how I finished my primary school, which is like preschool for some people. After staying with my grandma for a few years and I finished my preschool, I went to go stay with my aunt, who saw me through high school, which is secondary school, and then I moved to go live on my own, and I saw myself through university. I worked and schooled at the same time so I could pay my tuition fees. In all of the stages of the educations that I've had, you can see that my dad wasn't part of any of it. My grandma saw me through one, my aunt saw me through one, and for university, I had a lot of help from like people around, like my boss that I was working with at that time, and some friends, and you know, stuff like that. My dad was never part of it. When I got admission into the university, I called my dad and I told him, I've gotten an admission into school, but the money that I have saved is not enough and I'm going to need help. My dad told me he would get back to me. Exactly 9 years later, I never heard anything from him. Okay, not a thing. He never got back to me. Like, he could have just gotten back to me and said, I ran around and I couldn't find anything. That's what parents do. Okay, and why would you even tell me you ran around and you didn't find anything? He was a farmer. He's still a farmer and does business on the side, so he could have afforded to give me a little something, whatever it was, but he didn't care, so he never got back to me. And I knew he wasn't going to give it to me, because learning from my elder sister, who as at then was higher than me in a lot of things, she never got help from him. So I knew he wasn't going to help, so I went ahead and I went on with my life without him. The same situation now with my mom. I called my mom and I told her I'd gotten an admission, and I told her the same thing I told my dad. My mom went and borrowed money from the meetings. You know, African women, they have like these groups that they do meetings and all of that, like age grade meetings. So she went there, she collected loans, she sold her expensive wrappers. If you're African, you know that women, they love their wrappers. She sold those wrappers and she sent me the little that she could, and that's how I was able to put things together to start uni. So you see now that I told a parent that loved me, and the situation was different from when I told the parent that didn't. There were times in Abuja, if you know Abuja in Nigeria, there were times where there were a lot of riots and bombings and all of those kind of chaos going on. Not for once did my dad ever call me to say, are you okay? Like the bombing that we heard about yesterday, did it get to you? Like, was it at your end? Like, nothing like that. It's like I didn't exist. Now, I didn't ask to be born a girl. And since I was already born a girl, the only thing that they could have did was to love me regardless. But one parent decided that they didn't want me, period. It didn't matter. So as I'm talking to you guys now, I'm 27 years old and I don't remember a single thing that my father has ever done for me. Not a single thing. And he knows it. So there was a time that me and my dad got to talk. And it was in 2015 that we lost my sister, so we had to go home for the burial. When we got home, something led to something and we got talking. And he was like, I only take care of my mom. I only send money to my mom. I only send stuff to my mom. I never send anything to him. Sir, first of all, she's the only one that I know. She's the only parent that I've ever really had. You haven't contributed anything to my life, so why should I take care of you? You know? But that was basically the conversation. That's how that conversation went. We kind of spoke for the very first time about his negligence and all of that extra stuff. This thing that I'm telling you is the same thing with my sister and every other siblings that are girls that I have. Now, even when it came to my brother, it was only my brother that he helped to a certain extent. Okay, he helped my brother to a certain extent. He did pay some sort of school fees. He did some kind of things. He was the only one that was showered with love. We were never. I literally grew up knowing that my dad didn't want me because I was female, that my dad didn't want me because I was a girl. Imagine the kind of thing that such thing can do to a child. But even as at 6 years old, I knew this. Growing up like this, I wanted to succeed so badly because I felt like if I succeeded, you know, like if I did so well in life, maybe I can prove to my dad that I can do whatever a boy can do, you know. So I grew up just wanting to prove to my dad that I was better than a male child, you know, that kind of a thing. And for that reason, I worked so hard. I did odd jobs, I did all sorts of jobs. There were never times where I was jobless in my life. I always had a job or a business or something that gave me money because I wanted to take care of my mom and make my dad jealous. I wanted him to see that a female daughter can do as much as a male son will do. I didn't want him to be proud of me. That wasn't the case. I just wanted him to regret his actions more, like, you know. I got to a stage in life where I felt like me not loving him or me not treating him the same way that I treat my mom was holding me back in life generally. Like I felt like, not like he was holding me back, but I just felt like the hatred that I had just knowing that he didn't love me enough was kind of holding me back. I had to forgive him, you know. So one day I just picked up my phone and I called him and I asked him how he was doing and what business are you doing now. And what this basically, I just got like a kind of an overview of what his life was at the moment, and he told me that he was doing a certain business, blah blah blah, and I invested in the business. That's what I did. Before I invested in the business, he didn't have certain things. Now after I invested in the business, he could afford to do certain things like get his own store. Before now, he didn't have a store. Okay, now he was just selling. I don't know, in Nigeria there are so many ways you can sell without having a store. Okay, so I invested in the business, and now the business is blooming, and that's how he is surviving. So that was my own little way of telling him that I have forgiven him. And now me and my dad, we have a very good relationship. I spoke with him last night. He calls me my baby. My mom tells me every time that she hears him say my baby on the phone, she knows he's speaking with me. So me and my dad, we sorted things out. I forgave him even though he didn't ask me for forgiveness. Okay, he never said, I know I wronged you, I know I was never involved in your life and I'm sorry. Nothing like that ever happened, but I forgave him for me. Sometimes you forgive people for you, not for them. Okay, so people don't even deserve your forgiveness, but you forgive them for your own sanity, for your own peace. I don't segregate anymore. I don't say, oh, my mom should get bigger than my dad. I just feel like they are both my parents, and without the both of them and God, I wouldn't be here, you know. So I treat them the same way. But the truth is, in my heart, I can never compare the love that I have with my mom with my dad. I can never compare. A woman who stood by me, who loved me regardless of my gender and my imperfections, and who put herself out there, loaned money from people just to take care of me. I can never compare that with someone who was never involved. You know, this is something that I went through, and I can never forget. This is something that I went through, and it's part of my life, because sometimes I question things. You know, sometimes I be like, does this person really loves me? It's because of my experience. If my own dad didn't love me, why would this other man love me? Do you understand? So sometimes the little things, the things that you do to people can affect them for life. It can change them for life. And that's the reason why I'm sharing this video today. I hope that this sends a message out there. Do not treat people a certain way simply because of their race, their gender, their religion, tribe, or anything like that. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. If you did like it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new, don't forget to smash the subscribe button, break it, destroy it, and do whatever you like with it. Yeah, I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Ciao.